Hey, couple of things before the video starts. First of all, new PNG tuber design. Look at him, he's so cute. Second of all, this show, despite being animated, has graphic imagery of violence, gore, and so if you're not comfortable with any of that, I completely understand and I'll see you in the next video. With that being said, on with the video. In 2023, I finally caved in and watched the biggest superhero show there is, The Boys, on Prime Video. So for those who are unaware, The Boys is about a group of vigilantes at war with a big conglomerate, VOT, that commodified superheroes and made them more politicized. It answers the question of what would superheroes be with a very cold look into a lot of things about our current society. It has analogies for US foreign policy, the entertainment industry, law enforcement, and other general politics. It's really good, even if the analogies do get a bit exhausting and painfully unsubtle at times. Anyway, while waiting for season 4 coming later this year, I sat down to watch the spin-off series, The Boys Diabolical, an anthology of 8 animated short films in different styles written by different writers. While I do love all of them, and I'm not in the belief that they should be compared, because how do you compare a touching story of an old man scared to lose his dying wife to Baby does a Looney Tunes with gore? I just thought it would be fun to rank them all in my personal list of which one resonated with me the most and which one I didn't feel. Keep in mind that these are just my personal opinions, and I'm curious which ones you do and don't agree with me on in the comments. With that being said, let's start with my least favorite. Number 8, I'm Your Pusher, written by Garth Ennis. There's a few things I kinda like about this. I like that it has the same writer and art style as the source material, and I like that Simon Pegg voices Huey. Don't get me wrong, I prefer Jack Quaid in the role, but I know this casting is more of a fan service for the comic book fans. I like Michael Cera being a crackhead soup as much as the next guy, but where this falls flat for me is its lack of anything interesting to add or anything new. Again, I'm glad it's there for fans of the comics, but as someone who watches the show, this is on the more uneventful side. There isn't anything to add or take away from. There isn't anything new we learn or anything new to get from this. I still do appreciate its inclusion to the lineup though. On the same note of having a short that has almost nothing to say, number 7, an animated short where pissed off soups kill their parents, written by Justin Roiland and Ben Bayouf. Bayouf? I have no idea how to pronounce that, and also why is the short so long of a title? If you like Justin Roiland's aesthetic, you'll have a good time with it. It's the equivalent of Justin just getting to play with the world and setting of The Boys to tell his flavor heist story. And frankly, it does sorta work. It sets itself in the canon of the show in just the right way, and it's a little sobering to see these kids get revenge against their parents for them being like this. It's also dark to know that there's just an orphanage of reject soups. Depending on who you ask, serious and deep subject matter and implications are handled by Justin Roiland, and his style is hit or miss here. This short is in the area of having some interesting implications, but underuses and doesn't really bother to try anything with them. I do like this for having that trademark Roiland humor, but other than that, it's nothing much else to say about. Moving on to number 6, Nubian vs. Nubian, written by Aisha Tyler.
Everything is fine.
Baby, Daddy and Mommy are getting a divorce, and Gerald's buying you a pony. Nighty-night.
This is about a couple of soups who are on the brink of divorce, so their daughter tries to parent trap them into falling in love back with each other. This is a lot more domestic and grounded than the rest, and I appreciate the lower stakes. To a kid, their high stakes is their parents divorcing, and I like what the daughter does to try to bring them together. It also fleshes out the WWE reality TV angle that VOT does put their soups through, with their main meet cute being a scripted planned out bit. The voice acting is also pretty good. Don Cheadle switching back and forth between a Nigerian and American accent was kind of amusing. Why is it not in the top 5 then? I think to me, it's just alright. It's pretty straightforward and simple on plot, and while it did make me laugh, the other 5 stuck with me a little more. Sorry, Nubians. Also, that Lil Nas X song in the credits killed me. It's been a while since I heard that song, bro. Okay, now we're in the top 5, which isn't saying much. It's a season of 8 episodes, but whatever, it still means something. Shut up. Number 5, BFFs, written by Aquafina. This is about a teenage girl who drinks a vial of Compound V, the drug that's just superpower RNG, and gets the power to telekinetically control shit. I'm not joking. Off the bat, I really like the tone this episode has. It utilizes its art style really well. The anime influences, from the expressions to the music to the kawaii character designs of the humans and the poop. Aquafina's writing also was just surreal and out there enough to make me laugh and smile along. Does this add anything to the canon? No, but this is just higher than the rest because of the more zany humor. And I'm more biased with the art style on this. What can I say, the juxtaposition with a cute chubby design swearing so much is amusing. Moving on to number 4, John and Sun Hee, written by Andy Samberg. I'm gonna have to talk about you at some point, aren't I? For those who are unaware, I don't really like Andy Samberg. I think post Hotel Transylvania, he stopped trying to act and be a character, and instead relies on his natural charisma a little too much to sell his performances. Which sucks because he has given some killer performances before, and I'm just waiting for him to not be himself and be a character again. This short is what I mean when I say when he tries, I mean actually tries, he can make something really good. John and Sun Hee is about an old man who, not wanting to lose his terminally ill wife, injects her with Compound V to disastrous consequences. This show is best when it has a simpler story, and this does. Not only that, it takes its Korean horror aesthetic and just rolls with it. The monster design is cool on a size and horror level, but it doesn't really explain what it can do. But I'm also aware that's not the point of the short. It's more so about the desperation and loss John feels. I don't know, man, this is really good. I'm surprised Samberg wrote something this good, and I hope he does more instead of LA Stoner number 200. Moving on to number 3, Boyd in 3D, written by Elliot Glazer. This one is about a guy who's chosen to try on this Compound V induced face cream that gives him a Giga Chad look. This gets him laid with that hot neighbor and subsequently fame and clout. After she also tries the face cream that turns her into a cat girl. Why a cat girl? Because she's one of those girls who takes selfies with a cat filter, so she identifies as a cat. I wonder if she looks at Nekopara or the Cats movie and just goes, oh my god, she's just like me for real. Initially, I had this one at the number 1 spot, but after thinking, I decided to move it down a little. Why? Because a lot of the themes this episode touches on have been done to death before. The dangers of fame, social media, self-image and confidence, etc, etc. Hell, wasn't there a video a couple years back that did this in an egregious manner? But that doesn't take away from this shot at all. The art style is really appealing, the design of the cat girl is really nice. Also, I really don't know how I can show the cat girl without censoring the fuck out of it, because majority of the time she's naked. The ending of the two leads finding each other again after losing it all is wholesome, but the twist that all this happened in his mind before dying from an overdose is even more hilarious, and oddly enough fits the tone and message of the show. Moving on to number 2, Laser Baby's Day Out, written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. It's another simple story done in a very nostalgic and lovingly recreated in the 50s Hanna-Barbera art, down to the film grain, the music and sound design, and the rubber hose animation. A scientist doesn't want his laser baby killed by Vought, so he breaks the baby out. It's really nothing on the plot development, but I personally found a lot of amusement and enjoyment in the really seamless blending of the dialogue less slapstick aesthetic with the trademark excessive violence and gore the boys is known for. I like how they got Ben Schwartz just making gasps, grunts, and whoas in the vocal booth. That's funny. And the ending is really sweet too, with the scientist adopting the laser baby. Again, it doesn't have much on the plot angle, but it was very entertaining, very cute, and worth watching. It was also a nice nostalgia trip on these kinds of animation and art styles that got lost to time. So thanks, Seth and Evan. And finally, the best one in my opinion goes to number 1. 1 + 1 = 2, written by Simon Raciapa. This is good shit. A Homelander origin story that's directly canon to the show. Homelander's first mission on the job, which fleshes him out a lot more than the show did. An establishment to the weird relationship Homelander and Stillwell have in the show. A lot of subtle references to the progression the show would take, since this was released before season 3. And good god is it effective. Before Homelander became the sociopath the show paints him to be, this episode shows that he started off as a Captain America type good guy. The one-liners, the Marvel-style overconfidence, and his non-lethal approach to restraining suspects. But when he snaps and accidentally kills an entire room of civilians, this was his canon event. It's also here where he, along with us, are introduced to the way that Vought covers accidental death as a self-defense thing through black noir. Honestly, this is a really tightly written and chilling episode. Anthony Starr's vocal performance is both sympathetic and haunting as a naive, traumatized Homelander. I'm happy this was the season finale, because I love the way it set up season 3 in terms of character establishment and world building. So those were my rankings for all 8 episodes. I'm sorry the things I had to say were pretty short, but then again, so are the episodes themselves. Again, I would recommend you watch these yourselves. Even if you haven't seen The Boys, their connections to the main show vary from episode to episode, so I'm sure you'll find something you like here. Thanks for watching, and I really can't wait for season 4.